name's Harry Forsyth, and this is my presentation for the Philosophy of Human Nature. What was my initial answer to the question, what makes you who you are and what defines you? When I heard this question, I answered it as easily as I could. Who I am is based on my actions and surroundings. I thought this because other than myself, my surroundings are what sees and experiences me. For example, my family, friends, colleagues. My actions in these surroundings create the person who I am. I also believe that a village raises a child, so my experiences from when I can remember have helped me become me. I believe that if I wasn't raised near the beach or with a rugby ball in hand without friendly people around me, I would be different. When I go without certain things that I've always had, I feel like I change my actions. I think I'm defined mainly by my actions as well. So I can try to define myself, but people who experience me can look at me from a different perspective. If I make a bad, hurtful decision, the people around me will see that, will see me as that, rather than if I care, work for people around me. So kind of just my actions and my surroundings kind of make me who I am. Has my view on this changed or developed in any way? Since asking myself this question, my viewpoint has developed. When I say my surrounding makes me, I have to have surroundings. What about when I don't? Like right now, when I was typing this out, no one was watching, hearing, or touching me, so was I real? I read the ego theory, which explains that at one time you can sense different things, like I can feel the keyboard and see the screen. So right now I am me. This made me reshape my thoughts because my experiences are what make me me. Like I experience life every day, and if no one is watching, I still know who I am because I'm still clocking it all in. Therefore, when my experience, surroundings and actions come together, I create who I am. Now, looking at two topics that made me change my viewpoints, the first one I got in was I strongly believe in my current thoughts still on what makes me who I am. The world around me is real, and because I experience and remember it, I know it is. I further added to my beliefs for this by reading Amy Kim's Philosophy of the Mind in 20th and 21st century, where she gives an overview of, I'm going to botch this, but phenomenology, which is a philosophical approach that focuses on the study of conscious experience from the first person perspective. What resonated with me for that one was the idea of passive or pre-predictive constitution, which focuses on when we interact with things, we get a sense of how they work. This reinforced my beliefs as I understand different things based on past experiences with them. For example, knowing my suburb and having a map of it in my head, or knowing which corners will take me where. These experiences are defined in me, and I know that I'm real because of them. These experiences are always updating my brain, and forever will continue to see the world from my view. Reading this paper has helped me shape my answer and further inform me of who I am. Kind of just explaining to me that everything I'm doing, I'm updating my brain and keep on mapping it out. Now, the next topic that challenged my thoughts was when I was reading Thomas Nagel's What Does It All Mean? Focusing on the free will philosophy. Now, at the start of that, Nagel begins by explaining determinism, where the laws of nature, and in accordance with those laws, the circumstances before an action determine that it will happen and rule out any other possibility. When I read that for the first time, I thought of how small I was in the universe and how this could all be a likely outcome, that my choices are made before I do action them. What I didn't like about this topic was the fact that I could now think that anything I do doesn't matter because it was already made up for me, and that deep down, even if I have the choice to make the decision, the choice I'm making isn't mine, and that makes me think I don't have free will. I now understand who I am more because of determinism. I know that I now want to be held accountable for my actions. I want to believe I have free will, and my decisions aren't made up for me. It was a scary thought thinking about how everything might be determined for me. I just don't want to believe that because then my life would have no meaning. Therefore, even though the idea of determinism challenged my thoughts, who I am does not align with how that idea works, so I kind of just decided to stay off that path. It does kind of makes sense in my head that it could all be making decisions for me, but it's something I didn't want to focus on because then I can't be blamed for anything. That is my presentation. Thank you for listening. See you soon.